think you paid international student tuition as a New Jersey
Hasan's origin story.
born at Rutgers. Lamal's people
His
never.
parents are extremely wealthy. His mom is a landlord of like many commercial buildings, which is ironic because Hasan famously said landlords should be pulled into the street and the street should run red with their blood. His mom is a prolific landlord. His dad is a member of like one of the largest Turkish military political parties. They're very, very wealthy.
What the fuck is he saying, bro? First of all, why is he talking about my family? Secondly, did he get bored of making shit up about me that he moved on to making shit up about my family? Like, what the fuck? Turkish military parties?
In fact, Hasan, Turkey also has mandatory service, but Hasan actually, they sent him off to college. By the way,
also, who the fuck watches this and goes, "This is amazing. I love this. This is like exactly what my content is. This is what
they sent him to college from Turkey, which is fucking extraordinarily expensive for anyone in the world.
No, it's not. First of all, I got a fuck ton of scholarships. And secondly, I went to a state school afterwards in the state that I was born in.
Let on someone in
what
Turkey.
University did you go to here? Like, was it NYU?
He went to Rutgers and he went to another one that I think he got.
Internationally, that's not cheap at all.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so he
It's just like super basic shit. This doesn't make any sense. It's super basic shit. What is happening? It also, it's such an insane, I don't even know what to say anymore, man. Sue him, you can sue him easily. No, dude, no. First of all, it's bitch made as fuck to sue someone, especially for differences in opinion like these two clowns are trying to do to Noah, okay, which is something that I was going to talk about today because that's not technically drama, even though these guys only care about the drama. But also, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, I'm going to sue them for saying that I come from an incredibly wealthy background, and I actually was an international student, even though I'm an American citizen, at a fucking state school that I am literally technically a resident of. Yeah, I paid in-state tuition at Rutgers University, and I still had to get financial support on top of that, which I had to pay off myself. And not only that, but I paid off my brother's student loan debt and my mother's student loan debt as well. Ironically enough. And I take care of my entire family, and I'm proud to do so because I'm incredibly fucking fortunate. But it is funny to have this back and forth, which is objectively untrue.
dodged the draft.
And it's also weird because it's like how is this content? Like, you have to just despise me for this to be actual content. It's so fucked up because you talked about your life and childhood with him on Leftovers. So disgusting. He's lying like this. I don't get it. I don't understand who this content is for. You have to just genuinely be like, I fucking hate this guy. He surely knows. He literally hysterically laughed at you on Leftovers when you told him you were born in New Jersey. I know. Did he just like reset? Did his brain fucking reset? Maybe if you weren't obsessed with E, you'd be good. Yeah, I know. I'm so obsessive with Ethan Klein that I'm looking at a video of him just saying some of the dumbest things.
Dodged the draft in Turkey. He just fucking dodged the draft in Turkey because his parents are rich.
That's like,
yeah. If I had joined the Turkish military and only, if I had joined the Turkish military and overtaken like a Kurdish village or something, then I'd be, then I'd have something to say.
that's like the insane thing too, because it's like when you got mandatory military service, one of the things that I brought up with like just anytime it was brought up on stream or like I had to correct somebody on like a podcast, I'm like, she has mandatory military service, right? This is a guy that like got to buy his way out. So
yeah, if only they've ever heard one, my personal experience with this, but also secondly, my assessment on the matter. I don't have an issue with people's military service, especially when they're conscripted. right? I've long maintained this position. Same with even the poverty draft. Same with even like people who join the American military. This actually puts me at odds with some other leftists as well. They think that it's ridiculous that I have this position that like veterans are evil across the board. They've done a lot of evil shit. That's their perspective. I say it does not matter what you have done in the past. What matters is if you have atoned for said actions. I knew that that Ethan's wife had served in the IDF. I knew that in the IOF, Israeli Occupying Force. I know many people. I've interviewed people that have served in the fucking Israeli Occupying Force. I know people that have served in the American military. I don't give a shit as long as you understand that it was fucked up and you work to atone for your past mistakes. That's it. I have literally defended Ethan's wife's choices in the past. I don't care about what she did in the past. I care about what she says now. I care about their actions now. Okay? Because if someone had was conscripted to join the Israeli occupying force, and then they did one of those fucking missions in the West Bank, and we're like, oh my God, this is Nazi shit. I'm forever changed, and I will work every single day tirelessly to never fucking make sure that this does not happen, that other people don't join, other people don't serve, then fucking awesome. Why would I? Why would I hate that? It is your current actions and your justification for your service, I think, that that is at fault here. You know? Is odd. A very strange situation.
So it's like, how are you going to shit on somebody that is forced basically by their fucking state to participate in their military like infrastructure? And on Hasan's side, it's like, dude, imagine being so privileged that draft time comes, your parents just send you off to the most expensive countries in the world to get a fucking education.
That's how it used to be. Yeah.
Wait, what? No, I wanted to come to America. My dad didn't want me to fucking study here, first of all. I don't know why I'm responding to this. They're just like baselessly speculating about all this shit. It's pretty funny. The IDF is a necessity and it's selfish not to serve. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Especially after you have served. Saying some shit like that is completely unacceptable. Ethan calls us on a fake socialist for not serving in the Turkish army. What is this, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, as a socialist, as a communist, and all this types of stuff, I think it was during Vietnam where rich people were paying to get their kids out of the draft, and that became a huge thing now in America. They made that now illegal. But
it's the one thing that I like about Donald Trump, by the way, that he dodged the fucking draft. Like it's one thing that I've objectively said was one of the few instances where, because he wanted to fucking save his own ass, sure, he did, what was it, bone spurs or whatever, and he fucking dodged the draft. It's like, yeah, he didn't participate in war crimes. Great. The fuck? Yeah, being a socialist means you have to do war crimes. Excuse me. The less war crimes you do, the less socialist you are. What a crazy fucking statement.
But Hasan is literally he's literally Donald Trump with the bone spurs. I mean, he didn't make any medical excuses, but he definitely they paid up so he could dodge the draft. And I mean, to me,
what is he? He just loves nationalism so much that he's a Turkish nationalist now? What the fuck's going on? He swapped from being an ultra nationalist Zionist for Israel to being an ultra for fucking Turkish nationalism. He's about to talk about how the fucking Panturanists will rise up from the Balkans all the way to the Great China Wall. You know what I mean? Yaşasın ırkımız, Çin'e bedel kırkımız. He's like, well, I can't believe this guy didn't even fucking serve in the goddamn Turkish military. How dare he? Adam Friedland was in the IDF but lived in Israel for a year. Wasn't in the IDF? I don't think he was in the IDF. I think birthright, right? He lived in Israel for a year and working in an ambulance, and he saw the apartheid and was like, yeah, this is fucking bad. Yeah, exactly. It's ironic because I don't think he was a fan of Israel either when he fucking lived there, and he just loves it now. He loved it after the genocide, which I don't know if it's like, I guess it's worse, right? Because when he lived there, he was like, this shit sucks. The food sucks. The people suck. Everything about the vibes are fucked up. And then he comes back here fucking living in Bel Air for God knows how long, like, you know, and turns around and is just like, actually, it was awesome. It was amazing. Now that they're doing a genocide, when it was just an apartheid and they would like every now and then blow up the Gaza Strip, it was fine. But now that they're doing like straightforward genocide, I fucking love it. It's my favorite. Bro, he IOF dodged too.
Like
That's shameful and it's embarrassing. Hila served her country. She did her civic duty, and I think that's a good thing.
Her civic duty. Yeah, would he say that about a German person talking about their grandfather's service in the Wehrmacht? You know, I don't think he'd have that same opinion. You know, excuse me. My grandpapa did the service. It was his civic duty. My grandpapa, he was doing the civic duty. Hasan, they don't watch your stream, just move on. I mean, true. They'll probably clip some parts of this and be like, it's crazy that he's comparing he's comparing my statements about the Israeli occupying force to the Nazi German troops. And I am. I want to make this very clear. Okay? I am doing that. Both are significantly more powerful military forces that did untold amounts of, and are still doing, one of them is doing untold amounts of cruelty at the behest of an ethno-supremacist, ethno-religious supremacist this time for Israel ideology. So yeah, I am making that comparison. I hope people understand that. That is precisely what I'm fucking saying. Okay? Yes. Israel is the modern Nazi Germany. They're doing Lebensraum. They're doing genocide. They have an apartheid state. So yeah. Yeah. I think there should be deep shame that comes with a lived experience of doing horrible things to a civilian population like that, which is illegal, by the way. They won't watch it. One of their staffers will clip this and farm you for one day, and then the stupidest chatters in this community will send you their clips so they can also farm it. Yeah, this aspect of it is utterly irrelevant to me. What is relevant, I think it didn't register when she originally told her story, she said she was going to find a way to get out of serving if she didn't like her job. He calls you anti-Semitic for comparing a Jewish person to a Nazi, his words. Yeah, I don't care that that's his assessment. What are you going to do? Fucking sue me over this comparison? Like, yeah, it's one that I believe. And I think it's one that is true. Yeah, Zionism is a fascist ideology. Okay, it's an exterminationist ideology. That is precisely what it is. Mein civic duty. Unironically, yes, he wrote it down on his notepad. Wait, what? Yeah, don't ask him to sue you law. I think it's incredibly fucking stupid. Unironically, he wants to sue you over this exact same thing. His lawyers at some point got to be like, hey man, I know you like disagreements don't mean defamation, right? Like you can't just sue people for disagreeing with you. You can't fucking sue people for not liking you, or not even not liking you personally, but like liking your output, you know?
Chapter 1.
Yeah, I saw this last night. This is, yeah.
There's many more to come. And by the way, Hasan, if you think I'm done with you, I'm not done with you by a mile. I'm just...
Oh, no. Yeah, this is coming after the heels of his co-authored cease and desist, not even a lawsuit yet, against Noah. Okay? Ethan Klein, who successfully sued was sued by another content creator and created the precedent-setting pivotal fair use court case has now fallen so hard that he is going after random anonymous Redditors with the hopes that he can find their personal information and then ironically dox them and defame them, something that he has mentioned. He also he's also now suing Noah Samson, but not even suing. It's just a cease and desist at this point. He wants Noah to like retract his YouTube video where Noah said that Ethan Klein plays a role in genocide denial and defense of Israel's actions by consistently focusing the attention and smearing all of those who dare to criticize the apartheid state. What's up, dude? You take her out. Take her out. Let her out. Let her out. Let her out. Let her out. Hadi çıkar. But I think now he's gonna sue me as well. Apparently, that's what he's saying.
I'm taking the trash out. I'm saving you for my main course. You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter, who spends all day lying. It's funny, this narrative. Ethan's obsessed with his son. Literally spends hours every day on his stream talking about me. I saw the guy. I saw him.
Cool. I didn't want to interrupt.
So guess what? Don't worry, buddy. I got time for it.
Dude, has Ethan spent one day talking about me where he doesn't actively defame me? Making insane claims. Like, insane. I mean, even here, he's like, doesn't he call me at some point like a terrorist supporting fuck? Like, so much seasoning. Now, does that fit the standard of defamation? I don't know. Because again, these are malleable, these are subjective terms, they're vague terms. So you can fucking fit that profile for me. If I were to call Ethan a terrorism supporting fuck for supporting the nation state of Israel or the United States of America, I don't think that that's grounds for defamation. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you can prove actual malice, then yes. I don't know. You have to also have damages, right? I mean, I guess he could report damages, but like, I didn't do anything to him. He fucking did this himself. Also, I have no malice. He's literally talked about how he wants me to lose everything and how he fucking hates me. I have never said that because I don't believe that. I want him to be happy. I want him to be emotionally secure in his life, in his personal relationships. I want him to live a happy and healthy life. And I know that this is not the right way for that. This is like, entertaining this shit is, going to further collapse his businesses.
Mile. I'm taking the trash out. I'm saving you for my main course. You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter, who spends all day lying. It's funny, this narrative. Ethan's obsessed with his son. Literally spends hours every day on his stream talking about me. I saw the guy. I saw him.
Cool. I didn't want to interrupt.
So guess what? Don't worry, buddy. I got time for everybody. I'm making time for everybody.
Thank God, man. Ay, ay, ay.
You know what I mean? And I'm just that kind of guy. The world is wide enough for all of us. Hamilton.
Like, is there no point where anybody in his orbit goes, hey, man, you look like a fucking psycho? Like, you sound like a psycho. Like, this is not good content. This is not making you look good. You can't just like decide to fucking sue people because they made criticisms of your commentary. That's not a thing that, I mean, you could do that and you could waste a lot of money doing that, but I don't know if that's going to make you look cool. How obsessed are you for Ethan Klein to talk about his obsession for you? I know.
So don't worry. Don't worry. You know what I mean? We go from the bottom up, and everybody's catching these hands. Don't worry about it, Hasan.
Yeah, you're a big man. Everybody's catching these litigious hands. Yeah, just you wait. I'm going to do more paperwork. I promise. It's just sad, man. I don't know what else to say. Ethan Klein is now threatening to sue Hasan Piker for defamation. The content failed to get Hasan deplatformed, so Ethan wants to use the law to silence his critics. Ironically, Hasan is a real case for defamation against Ethan. So does Rashid from Yemen. Yeah. This is what they want. I know. Except every time I talk about him, here's the secret, okay? Every time I talk about him, that causes him to extend his rants by at least another month. And that literally further feeds into his mania, and it pisses off his remaining fans as well. So he's just like inevitably going to wither away what remains of his actual fucking fans by talking about it over and over again, by talking about me over and over again, until people go, all right, what the fuck is all this for? And it's not going to get me mad. It's just not going to work. Why not give him the D treatment at this point? Just ignore. Two reasons. One, clearly that didn't work with Destiny. The only thing that takes these people out is just their own moral failures being brought to the forefront. And secondly, the reason why I'm talking about it right now is because he's doing a thing that I think is completely fucking inappropriate. Suing another YouTuber and like creating a completely ridiculous lawsuit with claims that another YouTuber has defamed you for directly posting your statements, not even like shit that's clipped out of context in general, but directly. He's not suing Noah. No, he is. He wants to sue Noah for defamation. He said he issued a retraction, a cease and desist, and I want to look through it. Does anyone have the actual, because I think he revealed it as well. But yeah, he said he wants to sue Bad Empanada. He said he wants to sue Bad Empanada and Noah Samson. And he has issued a cease and desist to Noah Samson so far. And it's interesting because like I think he has, like, if the standard for defamation was that low where he could technically sue someone and like win a court case, he would be fucking destroyed. Ethan Klein has called people pedophiles over and over again when he doesn't like them. I think he fucking made inferences that the CEO of Twitch was a pedophile. He called him a fucking Nazi over and over again. So the idea that like, this is it. Noah Samson, Noah Sparks, demand for correction pursuant to California Civil Code. Dear Mr. Samson, we are counsel for Mudahar Anas, Muda, and Ethan Klein, Ethan, collectively our clients. If you have counsel, please forward this letter to them and have them contact me about this matter. We are writing to you pursuant to California Civil Code, CC, Section 48A, demanding you make a retraction and correction in compliance with their statute. With the statute. Your March 11, 2025 video titled, The YouTubers Who Backed the Genocide, the first defamatory video. The defamatory video contains numerous defamatory statements against our clients, which are set forth below. The law of defamation, libel is defined, we already know. Provable falsehood, okay, explains what that is. Examining both the language and the statement in the context of the required actionable assertions of fact or statements of factually specific. Furthermore, wait, what? Wait, this is just describing fucking case? What? Where is the actual fucking knowledge of falsity can be proven by demonstrating the defendant review the information contradicting the defamatory statement? Court found it critical to demonstrate that the defendant knew long before the distribution of contested mailers that the plaintiff did not pay damages to the city for fraud. Look at footnote 1. Our clients do not concede that CCC Section 48A applies in this matter and expressly reserve the right to challenge its applicability in the future. Wait. I'm too stupid. I'm not like a law guy. But why do they not say this is just a cover your ass statement? It's not contradictory. First defamatory statement comprises the thumbnail for the defamatory video, which depicts our client as against the backdrop of the destruction of Gaza, coupled with the title of the first defamatory video, i.e., the YouTubers who backed the genocide. A screenshot is provided below. The first defamatory statement falsely asserts that our client supports genocide in Gaza. The verb to back means to support by material or moral assistance. The term genocide is a crime defined as any of the following acts. Oh, I'm glad that they put the definition of a genocide there. So I guess they do agree that Israel's doing a genocide. So that's cool. Woke law firm. They're being woke. In the words of Chuck Schumer, they're anti-Semitically claiming Israel's doing a genocide, I guess. Whether our clients supported by material or moral assistance or otherwise genocidal acts by Israel with the intent to destroy and hold and imply the Palestinians is subject to being proven true or false. The surrounding context further emphasizes the first defamatory statement is an actionable assertion of fact. Throughout the first defamatory video, your language is factually specific, earnest, and in serious tone. This is emphasized by holding yourself out as having specialized knowledge or expertise in the Israel-Palestine conflict due to a large volume of materials you cite in the first defamatory video, much of which you misrepresent. Wait. Critically, you either fail to disclose the factual basis of the first defamatory statement or you misrepresent the factual basis in the first defamatory video as detailed below. For Muda, the video only shows two very brief clips. Twitch is discussing the evil platform. See defamatory video. Not only did you fail to disclose the source of these clips, it is evident that you intentionally misrepresented it in Muda's video. He explicitly states, like I've said before, I've been clipped a few times, and even when I stream, videos do get uploaded of my takes on situations that I feel like I need to clarify. I'm not somebody that is afraid to say that genocide is wrong. I think there's an actual case of, genocide, and there's an actual case of attack that goes towards the Palestinian people. Further, in relation to Twitch's IP ban of Israel-Palestine, Muda also states, honestly, if you really think about it, this rule actually hurts Gazans more than it could hurt Israelis because Twitch's geo-block, if it's targeted in the region, if you wanted to... Moreover, if you intentionally omitted portions of Muda's video that demonstrates he does not support the take of Zach Hoyt, a.k.a. Asmongold, on Palestinians, immediately before the clip, he used the defamation video. Muda states, so obviously Asmongold walked back his statements and apologized. He said, my bad. Of course, no one deserves to have their life destroyed, even if they do things or have views I find regressive. I like that the context in this instance doesn't actually change the point that Noah Samson was making at all, which is why it's funny when they post this. Like, this is for, I guess, an outsider or something. That's literally what they do to you. No, they do this to me when I'm like arguing for the exact opposite thing that they claim I'm arguing for. The context in both of these quotes do not change the overall point that Noah is making, which is that these guys, by soft pedaling and Muda called you a rape apologist. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like fucking nuts. It's insane. Like there are tremendous amounts of defamatory statements in virtually everything that Ethan does to random people online all the way to like other content creators. So it's like funny that he's just trying to litigate like serious assessment, serious analysis over the ways in which certain YouTubers have either omitted details or have refused to cover the Palestinian victims of a genocide and therefore are playing a role in doing propaganda for Israel, whether intentionally or unintentionally. It does not matter. The intentionality here does not matter. What matters is the results. That right there is a assessment that I think Noah has every right to make. What the fuck are we doing here? That's not like a suable offense. Yeah, if there's a GoFundMe, if he were to set up a GoFundMe, if he were to actually get sued, I would absolutely fundraise for it. Lastly, Muda's initial reaction to Asmongold's take on Palestine is easy to find on YouTube. Due to your intentional and material omissions and misrepresentation of what Muda stated in Muda's video and Muda's reaction, the first defamatory statement is an actionable assertion of fact that was made with the knowledge that it was false. As for Ethan, you either failed to disclose the factual basis for the first defamatory statement, or when you did disclose the factual basis, you either misrepresent the facts or rely on, what is this, Bad Empanada, a source known to be highly biased against Ethan with a history of harassing, doxing. The second defamatory statement, in the content nuke, you can find yourself just about every time when we looked at the terms of manufacturing consent. Ethan spreads atrocity propaganda, ensures Hamas mass rapes hoax, the same hoax that was used by Western media, the U.S. government, and the Israeli government to justify genocide. Wait, what? Why is that defamatory? Ethan spreads overt misinformation, just straight up lies about Hezbollah and Ansar Allah or the Houthis in order to delegitimize their struggle against Israel genocide. He cites baseless claims from the Saudi state propaganda outlets to attack the Houthis. Wait, all of that is factually accurate. You can't say it's defamation. What? He did all of that. Hello? I don't understand. What is the point here? He repeats Nakba denial and his cease and desist. Yeah. He also cites a documentary about Ansar Allah, which he uses to attack as proof of the claim that they brought back slavery when the documentary wasn't even about the Houthis. It was about the Yemeni government before the Houthi took over the first defamatory video. This is also correct. These are incorrect. This is the haphazard, shitty way that Ethan put together his fucking content, his context puke. It's not the fault of others that he didn't do a good job correcting his misinformation on a video that has been seen by millions of fucking people is the appropriate thing to do. You can't fucking sue someone for pointing out their erroneous claims. What the fuck? Yeah, this is textbook, not defamation. Noah's accurate in his statements of fact and aligns these statements in his opinions about Ethan Klein as a total garbage law. Yeah. Fourth, he spreads the long debunked Nakba denialist points, talking points that have been used for decades to legitimize Israeli colonization of Palestine. Ethan cites sources that contradict his own claims, such as the UN report. He claims proves Hamas mass rapes allegations. Wait, why do they post like all of the best parts about that directly show the fraudulent way in which he put this fucking content slop together? Further, it is clear that you knew that Ethan did not support genocide because you watched or claimed to watch content nukes. Ethan expresses his condemnation of Israel's treatment of Palestinians. Oh my God. I think many of you probably also help TikTok, so go ahead, start posting about it, spread the word. Aside from being morally good thing to do, it's also becoming sustainable. You know, it's algorithmically viable. The Ethan Klein crash out industrial complex is booming. What? For the second defamatory statement, you did not disclose the factual basis for how Ethan engaged in every type of manufactured consent with one exception. Your false assertion that Ethan spread the Hamas rape hoax, which you expanded upon with the fifth defamatory statement, i.e. false assertion that Ethan misrepresented the United Nations report The mass rapes on October 7th were not a hoax. In your first defamatory video, you cite paragraphs 84 and 86 from the UN report. First defamatory video from the language you displays in the defamatory video makes it clear that there were mass rapes on October 7th. Overall, based on the totality of information gathered from multiple independent sources at different locations, the reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across the Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape and gang rape during the 7th of October. Credible circumstantial information, which may be indicative of some form of sexual violence, including genital mutilation, sexualized torture, or cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment, was also gathered. Yeah, this doesn't meet the standard of evidence by that very same UN report that they are conveniently refusing to mention, I think. UN report, with regards to hostages, the mission team found clear and convincing information with some hostages taken to Gaza have been subjected to various forms of conflict-related violence and has reasonable grounds to believe that such violence is ongoing. Page 86 of the UN report does not support the assertion that Hamas did not engage in mass rapes on October 7th. As the plain language of the investigators could not determine the exact scope of sexual violence because it would require a separate, more comprehensive investigation, not because there was no evidence. No, they said that there wasn't enough hard evidence, and Israel did not allow them to accrue hard evidence to conduct a separate independent investigation. The mission team was unable to establish the prevalence of sexual violence and concludes the overall magnitude, scope, and specific attribution of these violations would require a fully fledged investigation. A comprehensive investigation would enable the information base to be expanded to locations what the mission team was not able to visit and build the required trust with survivors, victims of conflict-related sexual violence who may be reluctant to come forward at this point. Interesting. Is this cease and desist and evidently prove the entire base of the fucking ICJ case against Israel all over this over a fucking YouTube video? Yeah. So very weird, very weird circumstance here where I guess like a California judge is supposed to make a full established statement on the UN report and whether or not the UN report said what it actually said or something different. Additionally, immediately after the second defamatory statement, you cite materials you claim to support an assertion the same hoax was used by Western media. By misrepresenting the factual base of the second defamatory third, despite making the factual assertion that Ethan spread overt misinformation and straight up lies about Hezbollah, you do not identify a single piece of misinformation or falsehood Ethan made about the organization. Indeed, you do not address, let alone refute the assertion made in the nuke that one, Hezbollah engaged in terrorism resulting in the deaths of thousands of civilians. That's not the assertion that the nuke made. The assertion that the nuke made was that Hezbollah killed 500,000 people in Syria, which is not correct. These people are fucking mad. Hezbollah initiated the most recent round of fighting, which resulted in 100 Israelis killed or over 200,000 displaced. But that wasn't the argument that he was making. In the fucking video, he literally... Am I wrong? Didn't he say in the video that the entirety of the deaths in the Syrian civil war was attributed to Hezbollah, according to Ethan? He's the one who fucking said the wrong thing. And here's the difference between myself and someone like Ethan. I didn't look at that and immediately go, oh, he's directly lying. I said he's too stupid because he just looked at Wikipedia, most likely, and looked at the top number and thought, oh, Hezbollah did this. But I don't know if he said it in the nuke or not, because I didn't watch the nuke, as you guys know. Dude, this is like some Trumpian nonsense, by the way. This is some shit Trump is doing. Like, how is Ethan Klein any different than Donald Trump? Just a much smaller version of that, I guess. Oh my God. The video evidence is silence. Screams before silence. White House screening. And then the Saudi newspaper, the Saudi propaganda paper that he correctly claimed he correctly stated was a Saudi royal family owned newspaper, Ashraq Al Awsat. Amazing. Anyway, Hezbollah orchestrated the assassination of the Lebanese prime minister. Hezbollah hijacked airplanes. Hezbollah fired 15,000 rockets at civilian areas. Hezbollah intervened in a civil war to aid the dictator Bashar al-Assad, which resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of civilians. Hezbollah's, notice how they're not saying what Ethan claimed, which is that they killed 500,000 people in Syria.
About Hezbollah and the Houthis in order to delegitimize their struggle against the Israeli genocide. He cites baseless claims from Saudi state propaganda outlets to attack the Houthis. He also cites a documentary about the Houthis, which he uses as proof of the claim that they brought back slavery, when the documentary wasn't even about the Houthis. It was about the Yemeni government before the Houthi takeover. What I find so interesting about this is, like, you're really going to go on record and say, like, you're going to defend the Houthis for being, like, I guess, anti-slavery? Like, the Houthis have slaves. Why are you erring on the side of the slaver?
What's really interesting about this is he made a false statement. Noah and Bad Empanada correctly showed that statement was like the information that he used to make an erroneous claim did not actually suggest what he thought it suggested. Like, I know he probably thinks he can just fucking get away with it because, like, who the fuck's going to defend the Houthis, right? But, like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You got God. You fucking got God, dude. You didn't do diligent research when you were trying to put together this fucking Hasbara slop. What are we doing? I'm so confused. You think he's going to go through with this, or is he just clowning? I think he's insane enough to do it. He's insane enough to do it because he knows that he has a lot of fucking money to burn. He doesn't give a shit. It's clear to me that he doesn't care about any of his, like, former friendships. He very clearly doesn't care about he very clearly doesn't care about, like, his analytics crumbling. People are fucking leaving his community by the thousands. Proof, you are speaking his opinion, speaking with evidence to his claim. I don't understand how this is defamatory. This doesn't even seem to meet the burden of proof of damages from the potential plaintiff. It's interesting because, like, there are rules against this. Like, you can't in the state of California especially, you can't just fucking hit someone with a lawsuit like this unless there is some serious defamation that took place. California's anti-slap statute provides for a special motion, and Ethan knows this because he's been involved in this, right? Doesn't he have one for fucking what is it, Brian Kavanaugh or whatever? Ironically enough, he has become a Brian Kavanaugh. But yeah, provides a special motion to strike a complaint where the complaint arises from the activity exercising the rights of petition and free speech. The statute was first enacted in 1992. The statute was enacted to correct the abuse of the anti-slap statute. Strategic lawsuits against public participation. It happens when someone, usually a rich person or a company, silences their critics by slapping them with a costly lawsuit. How do they not realize that this is precisely what he's trying to do? Yeah, it's probably a safe bet that the vast majority of people have never heard the term slap, even though it's a major factor in California litigation. It's also likely that if you're reading this, it is because you are involved in litigation where the issue of anti-slap motion has arisen and you are looking for information. SLAP is an acronym for Strategic Lawsuits Against Public Participation. It's a lawsuit filed for the improper purpose of trying to silence criticism or to prevent someone from pursuing their own right to redress. I'm trying to not be biased here. But if Ethan were to entertain this beyond the cease and desist, which is just simply a lawyer telling you with a letterhead to shut the fuck up, and will normally work for the average person. If you're like an anonymous Redditor who's worried about their private information becoming public in the hands of a guy who is cynical enough to use it, right? And sick their fan base on you, then that works. But if you hit like another YouTuber with a cease and desist like this, it's not going to work. One, because public figures, YouTubers especially, have at least like the finances to be able to combat this sort of thing. But secondly, you can be hit with a fucking counter that would slap you in the fucking face. He was frothing at the mouth, saying his lawsuit would result in garnishing Noah's wages for decades. What? By the way, the lawyer he hired is an anti-slap lawyer. Maybe that's why he... Maybe that's why he's like... I don't know. Perhaps don't admit that on stream. What are you talking about? %90 of slap motions succeed in California where a defamation case is dismissed. He lost his slap motion to Cav and is now appealing it. Approximately Thursday, if enacted. Before proceeding any further, let's be sure you have a good grasp of the lingo. The slap is a lawsuit filed by the plaintiff against the defendant, which seeks to either silence the defendant's free speech or to prevent the defendant from seeking a right to petition. The defendant seeks to have an action dismissed by filing what is called a special motion to strike. The special motion to strike is the anti-slap motion. The slap can be, and often is, a cross-complaint filed in the action. That is where many attorneys who are unfamiliar with slap law get into trouble because they file a cross complaint that attacks the complaint, and that itself is a slap. It's a statute intended to frustrate these actions by approving a quick and hopefully inexpensive defense. Although called a special motion to strike, the anti-slap statute creates a complicated hybrid of a number of motions, from demurrers to motions for summary judgment, with a dash of injunctive relief. When a defendant is served with a lawsuit the defendant asserts is designed to improperly silence his speech, he has the option of filing an anti-slap motion in the first 60 days after service, although the court has the discretion to consider anti-slap motions filed beyond the 60-day deadline. If the plaintiff files an amendment complaint at any point, that may restart the 60-day clock, depending on act in furtherance of a person's right to petition on free speech under the United States or California Constitution in connection with a public issue. Any written or oral statement or writing made before a legislative, executive, or judicial proceeding, or any official and any other official proceeding authorized by law. Any written or oral statement, writing made in place, an open public forum in connection with the issue of public interest. Yeah, I don't understand. First prong, defendant must show that the speech falls under the anti-slap law. Second prong, is the plaintiff likely to succeed? I mean, when it's a public figure, when you were talking about public figures, it's already harder. It's the bar is already higher to be able to defame a public figure to begin with. But beyond that, I think beyond that, there's not anything that they can point to in Noah's videos that isn't like a matter of opinion after pointing to well-established facts. And even if there was something, I think even if there was something that was false, right? you could still make the argument that like you didn't know what the truth was. You know what I mean? There's no malice there either, unless you can prove malice, like that that the party knew that Ethan believed in something and then admitted that they were still going to say this with the intent of defaming them, with the hopes that they would lose money or something or lose support. It's very difficult. I don't think there's any malice here whatsoever. I guess you could technically prove damages, but the damages are not caused by Noah's video. The damages, like I'm thinking of what would happen if Ethan tried to sue me, right? And it's kind of funny because if he tried to sue me for something, he could present damages, most likely, to be like, see, my fucking my subscriptions are in the red. People are leaving my channel in droves. You know, I don't know. Maybe like my merchandise company is not doing as well, right? But the problem is, in that circumstance, you would have to also prove that I have done something to trigger that. And I have not. I haven't done anything. As a matter of fact, I defended him for far too long, as a matter of fact. And not only did I defend him, I also simultaneously told him that I don't have any ill intent or ill will against him. So it really doesn't make any sense. Like I didn't do shit. It's like suing a random onlooker that you've decided to stalk and harass. And because you're stalking and harassing, it came across as really fucking annoying to a bunch of your own fans. They left your community and you suffered financial repercussions against that. And now you're desperately looking for someone else to blame. And you say, well, he shouldn't have been sexy. He shouldn't have been looking sexy over there. Okay. I'm suing him because he wouldn't fuck with me. And it made me lose my mind. And that's like, okay. Good luck, I guess. Getting so mad you get litigious is some Amerifat bullshit. Oh, yeah. It's also weak. It's so weak. I do think it's kind of, I will admit, I feel like it's kind of lame that other content creators that see this stuff maybe don't recognize the severity of it or the lengths that Ethan is going to, but see this stuff and then don't say anything because they're worried that he'll come after them too. What is this? Ethan Klein, Hosber, new hire, seen here fantasizing about Hasan Piker having sex. What?
Rocking the merch. And he cut off the sleeves too, by the way. It was fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, that's so hot.
I'm not going to fashion police him, but these shoes do not go. I'm sorry. The shoes just don't fucking go with the outfit. It's ridiculous.
Outside, motherfucker.
Like, bro, get real. Can you please get real? Oh my God. Hasan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Mm-hmm.
He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself.
I don't want to think about that, man.
Think about
Too
it.
much. Nope.
Think about it right now.
Stop.
I think I must be right, by the
I'm
way.
shooting rope.
Oh. What the fuck? You're a weirdo, man. You're fucking weird. What the hell? That's weird as hell, dude. What the fuck? I know Matt Lee was joking when he was like, yeah, Ethan wants to fuck Hasan, I think. But now I'm beginning to think it's just like maybe he does. I don't get it. Sue him for sexual harassment? Okay, calm down, dude. What has happened to the H3H3 podcast, dude? It is fucking weird. It is a weird ass podcast now. How the fuck did this happen? How is this even remotely entertaining for people? It's kind of scary. Anyway, can you please stop breaking YouTubers' brains? Please stop breaking Republican legislatures instead. Dude, I'm not doing nothing. I didn't do anything. What the fuck do you want me to do? I don't want them.